If you want all the benefits of a set of running boards without having to deal with gigantic steps hanging off the side of your truck, then the Go Rhino RB20 Slim running boards will be just the right choice for you and your 2024 or newer Tacoma double cab. These are going to bring you added protection and functionality without having to give up anything style-wise. What you get are some slimline, high-quality steel running boards that make a rugged visual statement with some added protection and versatility that pairs very well with your Tacoma styling. Running boards are some of the easiest modifications you can make to your truck, and unlike a lot of other modifications, they can serve multiple purposes, like these RB20 boards. Of course, the primary function of any running board is access. Where these differ from the standard RB20 running boards, though, is their width. These are the slim version, and they only measure about 5 inches wide at their widest point, as opposed to the usual 7.5 inches. And while 2 inches doesn't sound like a lot, when it comes to something sticking off the side of your truck, it can really make a difference. However, don't get it twisted, these are still going to provide you plenty of space on which to plant your feet. And even if you're in big work boots, you still got a very stable platform to hoist yourself up into the truck, reach the roof, or access the front bulkhead area of your bed space without worrying. And they're also going to provide plenty of protection. That brings up the other big benefit here. Now, as you can see on our truck, and looking at these on the table in front of me, these are a pretty low profile design. They tuck up very close to the rocker panels of the truck, so if you are doing any off-roading, these are going to provide a lot of protection for your rockers. It's not going to seriously affect your ground clearance or breakover angle, so you're not sacrificing too much capability by running these on your truck. The thinner width here also means that these are going to take up even less space and you run less of a risk of hitting them out on the trail. And the tough construction means that if you do happen to hit them on something, they're going to take the brunt of the hit and not your truck. The steps are made from heavy-duty 16-gauge steel that has been zinc-coated and galvanized to protect against rust and corrosion. These in particular are finished off with a textured black powder coating for extra protection. That finish is super durable and it can take a beating, and it also helps give you a little bit of extra grip and texture to the steps. The punched hole design also helps improve grip by letting water and debris drain off. These are pretty open on the bottom as well, so they're not going to retain moisture, and you've got a lower risk of them rusting out too. It also gives the tread of your shoes something to grab onto. And with all that, I think it's safe to say that these are going to stand the test of time and be plenty capable for you. And they should do quite well even if you live in a harsh climate. Now when it comes to the price, these are going to land pretty much right in the middle of the pack. Expect to spend about $525 for this set. They're not going to be quite as expensive as some other larger steps or the electric folding steps. However, I do think these represent a good value because of that construction, the clearance they provide, and the accessibility factor. So with all that plus the style taken into consideration, I think the price is pretty darn good. As far as installation goes, these are going to get an easy 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should only take you about 2 hours to complete. All of the hardware and bracketry that is needed comes in the box, and there's no cutting, drilling, or modification needed to your truck or the steps themselves. So this is a very simple bolt-on installation, and we're going to show you that process right now. So for that, let's head on out to the shop.
First install, you need a ratchet and a 13mm socket. All right, today we're going to be installing some running boards on our Tacoma. So let's get started. All right, now we're going to get started by just going over our brackets first. We want to make sure that you have the right ones. Now we have all of our driver's side ones lined up here. You'll see that all the brackets angle towards the front of the vehicle. On the end where the steps will mount, we have our front with our 2 bolts wider apart. Our center is just, they're connected together. And then our rear, which has that double right angle going on there. So we're gonna start by going underneath and getting these secured, and then we can get our steps on. So we're starting out on our front bracket here. You'll see the 2 holes in the threaded holes in the body. Get our 2 supplied bolts. They already have washers on them. Thread them in. Then we'll grab our ratchet and our 13mm socket and tighten those 2 down. Now we're gonna move on to our center bracket. We have our 2 supplied bolts, thread them in. And same thing, grab our ratchet and 13mm socket and tighten those 2 down. Then you go ahead and do the same thing for the rear bracket, bolts the same exact way. Now we're gonna get ready to install our steps. So you just wanna make sure you have the right side. Go Rhino logo will be in the back of the step. Now there are 3 nut plates that will go on. We already have 2 installed. They just simply go in here and turn like so. There's threaded nuts on them that our bolts will go into. Just gonna flip this down like so and rest it over our brackets. We'll be able to go underneath, line up our brackets, with our nut plates and then get our bolts installed. Now we want to get our bracket and line that up with our nut plate and thread in our 2 bolts. We'll get them started. Now here is where you want to adjust the step forward and back to where you want it. We already did that. So now we can just tighten these down, grab our ratchet, 13mm socket. Now you can go ahead and do the same thing in the other 2 locations. Now once you have this step all secured, you can go ahead and repeat all the same steps on the other side. And that wraps up our install of our Go Rhino RB20 Slim running boards, textured black, for a 2024 newer Tacoma double cab. And remember, for everything Tacoma, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.